Yo, what is up guys? My name is Patrick, host of EDH Brutality, and today we're talking about the sexiest women in Oh god, just grab a box of tissues and get on with it. Welcome back folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for dropping by and your ongoing support. My name is Patrick, host of the EDH Brutality YouTube page, in which we upload Magic the Gathering content and analysis every Sunday. Our last video, we did cover female nudity, and to go along those lines, today we're going to be talking about the sexiest women in all of Magic the Gathering.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
It should be noted, however, that today's list will be purely opinion-based, so take what you see with a grain of salt, and it's all in good fun. Speaking of fun, last week we did leave a comment on our own video saying if this comment gets 10 likes, we will make a video featuring male nudity within the game of Magic the Gathering, and thanks to Jax.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I regretfully say that that will be happening next week. Oh gosh, why do I have to do this? Why do I even do this to myself? But you know, it's okay. The more inclusive, the better. So before we jump right into today's content, a quick and special thanks to patrons like you for making videos like this possible. If you yourself would like to help support the channel for more videos, you can do so by taking a look down in the description below and going over to our Patreon page. I would love to have you, and I can't wait to see you all there. With that out of the way, let's jump right into today's contents. Starting things off today, we have Akroma, Angel of Wrath. Now, first of all, this artwork was done by Therese Nielsen, and I absolutely love it. Now, is it necessarily realistic? Well, not quite, but you know, we're talking about Magic the Gathering here. And what I do really enjoy about this art piece is the subtle shades of blue in it. You can see it does have a cooler tone to it, but the artwork itself is phenomenal. Blue is one of my favorite colors, so the presence of it really draws your eyes in towards Akroma, and then you can see her figure is highlighted rather nicely with her selected armor. Akroma is attractive in all art variants of her, so it's a well-deserved spot on today's list. Next up, we have Reversal of Fortune, holding a rather suspicious white substance in a canny matter with flavor text of why learn hundreds of spells when you can learn only one and use it to steal hundreds. Now, between the flavor text as well as illustration, this is a rather controversial card within the Magic the Gathering community, as it can be taken out of context. However, putting that aside, Greg chose a wonderful color palette here that really complements the softness within this particular character. Not to mention, you really appreciate the card more, as you know artwork like this will never be seen within the game again. I mean, let's be honest, it's rather revealing, but it's also nice. And for those wondering, oh my gosh, this guy is so sexist, well hey, listen, we're making a nude men video next week. That's right, no one is safe. Even the furries, I might do them too. If this video gets 75 likes, we'll cover the furries. Oh god, please. Please, I hope this video bombs. Up next, we have Bird Maiden, and oh my goodness, she can give me the bird. Look at this artwork. Open and honestly, Kaja Foglio here did make my favorite artwork within today's video, with this include. The color selection alone is phenomenal, not to mention the subject matter is perfect. Straight 10 out of 10 in my book. You've got the highlights within the wings and the folds of the pants. I love the way the hair is blowing in the wind, not to mention the amazing expression on this female character's face as she's soaring high above the desert below. And it didn't just stop there, as Kaja did throw us a bone, quite literally with a rather flattering way to show the pelvic area. And the only thing wrong with this card is, frankly, this character does not exist in real life. Moving on, we've got our very first muscle mommy of today's video, starting with Ivy Dancer, with flavor text of her ivy locks are remnants of the wooded wilds, now lost to Ravnica forever. Illustrated once again by Therese Nielsen. I am taken away by the detail within this character's anatomy. I mean, just look at the detail and highlights within the muscles of the quadriceps, you've got the triceps, and even just the back. I know it's not for everyone, but personally speaking, that is very attractive. Because let's be honest, she's yoked, and I would have no problem putting on the apron for this character. I mean, shit, I'll carry her weights around the gym too. I could be the weight. Okay, maybe not that far. Next up, we have Basandra Battle Seraph with flavor text of why listen to the mumblings of wizards when the lash speaks true. Once again, Therese, you know what you're doing with your female figures. I don't think I really have to explain this one. I mean, the arms alone, look at the abs, you have wings, the outfits, the hair, it's the whole package here. What can I say? If an individual is athletic, their attractiveness shoots up the roof. And even if you don't agree, what are you gonna do about it? She's got a whip. I mean, I've never been whipped before, but I'm not going against that. Heck no. And I don't know where Therese lives to be illustrating women as this, but I need to find out and move there. My god, there's no one in my area. Moving away from the muscle mommies, we've got, oh god, we've got Counterspell. I've been countered, guys. I'm so sorry. We've got another muscle mommy here. It's almost as if this video was personal preference based. Who would have known? Definitely not me. Nope, not at all. Anyways, illustrated by L.A. Williams, we've got a phenomenal side profile shot of this female character, and just look at the detail within her physique and the slight twist of her torso leading into her glutes. Oh my gosh, the highlights, everything about this card is perfect. As a matter of fact, this is the only counterspell I prefer to play, just because, well, she's hot and I'm not, so I need something to look at, because it certainly isn't going to be myself in the mirror. Moving on to something much softer, our 7th include for today happens to be Plague Witch, illustrated by Nelson DeCastro. This illustration appears to have a lovely looking female elf, and she is also appearing to hold a corpse within her hands, and I'm gonna be honest, for that reason, can I fix her? I absolutely can not do it. No, it's beyond hope, boys. I'm sorry. She's hot though, I will say that. She's got the hair, she's got the makeup, she's got the elf ears, and also the cleavage window that Nelson blatantly put in there. He knew what he was doing. This guy was down bad, and so are you for clicking this video, and so am I for making, oh god, I'm sorry, making this video. Who am I kidding? Moving on, we've got Disciple of Grace with flavor text of beauty is beyond law, and I couldn't agree more. You know, at first glance, I'm like, well, you know, this character is bald. Nothing wrong with bald people, just not a personal preference, but upon closer inspection you can see it is a headdress. So I really wonder what the hair is beneath this character's headdress, if any at all. Speaking of which, I think that's the most covering on this entire character, because the rest is rather revealing. Like, my goodness.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not entirely sure what Rob Rupel went through to illustrate this thing, but with the pose and oh my gosh, this man peaked. One thing I will say, however, is I love the use of shadows within this piece to make it not lay flat, as that is a rather difficult challenge, especially when you have a true side profile shot. Our 9th include for the day finds us at Juniper Order Advocates, illustrated by Douglas Schuler. We've got an elf and a human illustrated with its art piece with flavor text of, in these troubled times, we alone carry the hope of reconciliation between the elf and human. Douglas cooked hard here. Not only does the woman look amazing, but the guy looks good too. I mean, that mustache alone, I would kill for that. The sunlight radiating behind this female character is brilliant, showcasing that she's something special, and special indeed she is. You can tell she's got longer hair. It's rather pleasing to look at. She's got a beautiful white dress that matches the contours and complements the body rather well, and it's just overall a very pleasing card to look at, both feminine and masculine, with the two characters really complementing one another. Halfway through today's list, our 10th spot happens to be Dakmor Sorceress, illustrated by Matthew Wilson. What's not to love about a goth baddie? I mean, this individual is just dripped right out. High boots, a loincloth, jet black hair, and some sick armor to match. She's ready. What she's ready for, I'm not entirely sure, but she is. Yeah, she could definitely tell me what to do. Maybe she could even make me clean my room. I might be a little scared, however. I'm also scared of this next one, coming in with Deadly Allure, illustrated by Steve Argyle, with flavor text of what could be more irresistible than death. Well, how about life? I will admit, she's rather attractive, but you got all the snakes, and heck no. I don't like snakes, heck no. I do like her, however, and I also like the lighting in this imagery. Of course, leave it to the mono black cards for the hottest cards. Perhaps, however, we can change that with our next include, that being Resilient Wanderer, illustrated by Clyde Caldwell. And what I really like about this is, well, for one, there's no snakes. Not to mention, it is rather modest. You simply have a very attractive female warrior suited up and ready for battle. The intricacies between the detail within the wraps or even folds of the fabric that this female character is wearing makes it rather believable. Not to mention, the portrayal of confidence, yet while vigilant, is rather flattering. Next up, we've got Wakedancer, illustrated by Austin Shu. And what a thirst trap of a card, my goodness. With the hair, she's arching her back, you got the muscle definition in the arms, and then just the oh god. Thank you, Austin. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I don't know, just something about thick girls, man. Then you got the collared dress, and just the icing on the cake. Our 14th include is the classic Elvish Ranger, illustrated by Therese Nielsen. Oh my gosh, Therese, doing it again for the boys. Yeah, I don't think I really need to say much. This is like Megan Fox meets Conan, and they do a collab with Magic the Gathering. And there you go, you have Elvish Ranger. I would not be surprised if this card got a lot of young boys in trouble in the early 90s.
When I was getting out of my chair, my pants were slipping and I was pulling them up. I got scared and my pants slipped down a little and I was pulling them up.
I mean, hey, you use what you got, right? Closing in on our final 5 cards for today's video, it's time to get a little spicy. Starting things off, we have Vampire's Bite, illustrated by Christopher Moeller. And although we can't see the face, we do see a lot of other things. For example, you do have the waistline, she's wearing what appears to be a bikini, and then the breastplates, well, one seems a little bit too tight, pushing up her left breast against her body. So there's a lot of detail here that's why this is really necessary for a Magic card. I don't know. Am I complaining? Also no. What I do really appreciate, however, which I'm sure not many people do notice, is just take a look at the detail within the hair. I mean, that alone goes completely unnoticed because your focus is on other portions of this card, but I think it really ties in the card nicely. I do wish, however, we could see this vampire's face. Coming in at the number 16 spot, we have Save Life from Unhinged. And what's not to like about this card is literally a female by the poolside. You've got the pose, she's probably all oiled up, ready to be tanned. And you know, this oddly reminds me of that one pornography scene.
I see you don't have a lifeguard here at your beach.
I'm not at the beach, this is a bathtub.
No body of water is safe without a lifeguard.
It's 2 feet deep, lady.
Maybe the poor guy actually found a successful lifeguard this time around. Up next, we've got Shelter with the 80s haircut styled by Christopher Moeller once again. And I absolutely love this. She's got the oversized top and it's just very flattering. Outfit aside, just the face alone, this is a very attractive character. I really enjoy the wind blowing through this character's hair. It is rather natural, untamed, and a bit wild. Not to mention the highlights and shading on the thigh leading all the way down her leg is a nice touch. Looks very European and she just appears to have this class about her that is very hard to convey in many other characters. So overall, fantastic artwork for a great cantrip that can trip you if you look too long. Coming in at the number 3 spot, we are talking about the classic card Earthbind. Is the card sexy? Absolutely. However, is the character sexy? That is another question entirely. And my answer is yes. Unfortunately, we don't get to see much of her. It is in older card, so we really can't appreciate all the little details, thus warranting the number 3 spots. But nonetheless, a fantastic art piece illustrated by Quentin Hoover. It's a very interesting card because bondage isn't necessarily openly spoken about, let alone within the game of Magic the Gathering. But overall, this art piece is rather nice. I love the side shots of the figure in question, as well as the detail between the face, as well as the points of contact of the Earthbind itself. It really invokes the emotion of despair, as this poor fairy may never be able to fly again. Coming up at the number 2 spot for the runner-up of this week's video is Chosen of Markov, illustrated by Steve Argyle, with flavor text of "I have been found worthy by this great house." In the brilliance behind this card, it is double-sided. If you flip it over, you get Markov's servant with flavor text of "and for that I shall be eternally grateful." Now, both illustrate the same character, obviously 2 sides to the same coin. On the left, you do have an innocent looking woman that is rather attractive with, let's say, a ribbon around her neck. Obviously a very good complexion. I love the use of highlights in this imagery between the collarbone as well as cheekbone, but rather innocent. If we look over to the right, we do have a different side of this same woman. Obviously, it is the shy ones you have to look out for. And here she is, arms thrown way back, chest puffed out, and showing all she's got for all to see with the very bold dress she's wearing. Obviously, she's got some features that she's proud of, and for good reason. And I must say, Markov is one lucky dude. And last but not least, at the number 1 spot, in my opinion, the sexiest woman in all of Magic the Gathering happens to be Sangromancer. Between the use of point of view, highlights, and shadows, Igor was able to create quite the captivating image. I love the confidence displayed here, as well as the abdominals with a little sneak peek of those obliques. Not to mention the proportions are accurate and they don't seem unnatural from the physique this female character currently has. I think this card is one of the few that really has it all. You have the tailed cape that's wrapping around her legs through the wind, the breeze blowing through the hair, looking down at the viewer, as well as the thigh-high boots and a awe-inspiring confidence that really shows who's in charge. And with that, we will conclude today's episode. Did you agree with our list? If not, make sure to leave a comment down in the comment section below. Just a friendly reminder that we do have the male nudity video coming out next, with more deck techs and game-winning jank episodes in the process. But if you would like to see more content like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And with that being said, my name is Patrick, host of EDH Brutality. I thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.